What's up, guys? Mark back here with yet another riveting episode on the Avion Awesome channel, and today I've got another 12-volt heated blanket review. Well, it's not really a review, it's kind of an introduction. I haven't been able to sleep on it yet, but I at least wanted to make the video so that you guys could watch it. First of all, I just want to say this is a major upgrade as far as materials are concerned from the RoadPro one that I bought about a month ago or so. I don't know if this is going to be available in all Walmart stores, but I mean, they're usually pretty good about, you know, carrying the same thing throughout so that there's no deviation. But this is what it is, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it, especially because it was 18 degrees overnight. And I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. So here it is. It's quite the upgrade from the RoadPro that I originally bought at Walmart. It's branded as Goodyear. I'm sure that it's just a rebranded, you know, Chinese model, but it is actually cheaper than some of these other ones that I have found on Amazon that have similar features. It has this really, really soft, like, plush throw feel to it. This other one that I had originally bought from Walmart has more like a felt feel, kind of like a fleecy feel. So it's not as luxurious. I mean, it still gets the job done. It's relatively soft, I suppose. I mean, really all you're going to do is maybe throw it on top of a blanket that you're already sleeping on. So you're not actually going to, you know, sleep with this maybe directly on your body. But this one you totally could. Like I said, soft plush feel on the outside, and on the inside, we're talking Sherpa. The major difference that I can tell, other than aside from material, this one has a 45-minute auto shut-off switch. This one does not. It has like a thermostat, so it kind of self-regulates the entire time. And I think that is both good and bad. So if you have a fear of, you know, maybe a shorting wire or something like that, this might be the way to go as opposed to this one. This one actually has 3 different settings so that you can choose your level of warmth: high, medium, and low. This one also has a detachable controller that you can remove for washing. This one does not. You can only spot clean this one. So the cable itself is not detachable at all. It is actually screwed in and sewn to the material. So you are allowed to actually throw this thing in a washing machine. It says machine wash on cold water on the gentle cycle. So yeah, if you plan to sleep with this directly against a naked body, you know, and you obviously are going to get body oils and stuff on it, this one would be the one to buy. This one I would suggest that you put something in between yourself and it so that you don't have to worry about constantly washing it. But also, if you have animals or whatever, and they maybe hop up there on the bed or on the couch, wherever you happen to be using it, they've got dirty paws, that's going to be a problem. You'll have to spot clean it a whole lot more, whereas this one you can just throw in the washing machine. Also, I think it's worth discussing the differences in the controllers. This is the controller on the $20 one. Like I said, it only has high, low, and off, and it's just a manual switch. You know, very cheap. It's not really that complicated at all. This one just has one switch, and as you can clearly read there on the label, it says 45-minute timer, and you have to push the button, and then each one of these 3 lights lights up, and you'll know if it's either on high, medium, or low. And just a quick comparison on the differences in size. The original RoadPro heated blanket has a finished size of 57 inches by 39 inches, or 145 centimeters by 100 centimeters. This Goodyear blanket is actually just a tiny bit smaller. It is 55 inches by 39 inches, or 140 centimeters by 100 centimeters. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug it here into the Energy Kodiak and find out just exactly how much energy this particular blanket draws on each of the settings. Alright, so just with the little indicator light on, it's drawing 0.1, 0.2 watts. So let me cycle through the settings real quick. The first setting is high. Starts off at about 53.7 watts. It's slowly self-regulating, kind of dropping down. We've got 4.36 amps at the moment. We'll just see how far it kind of drops down. It basically sort of looks like it gives you a nice big boost of energy to start off with, just to kind of help warm this thing up, and then slowly begins to drift down. This thing is actually rated for 50 watts, so just the fact that it starts off a little bit higher than that kind of lets you know that it's going to give you a nice little boost right there at the beginning, but it does drift down and self-regulate quite well. All right, about a minute into it, we're down to 49 watts, so not bad. It's roughly what exactly what it's rated for. Let's go ahead and drop it down to medium. So we've kind of settled into about just under 4.1 amps on the high setting. Wow, that's a significant drop. I'm now on the medium setting. We're down to 36.5 watts, and it's only drawing about 3.08 amps. 36.7 watts, 36.5. That's a decent little drop in energy consumption, especially if you don't need it on high. Saving that much wattage is pretty damn good. All right, let's drop it down to low. And on the low setting, it is another full amp less. So only drawing 2.05 amps and 24.8 watts. 24.4, 24.5. I'm going to say 24 and a half watts total for that. So that is not bad at all, in my opinion. You know, that is roughly a 1 amp spread between every single one of the different settings. You're looking at roughly 4 amps on the high setting, 3 amps on the medium setting, and 2 amps on the low setting. Again, the biggest drawback that I can see between the two different blankets, other than, you know, the materials, is just exactly how long it stays on. 45 minutes, I mean, I think some people might find that to be a little bit more comforting, so that they're not constantly worried about the blanket overheating or causing some sort of fire in their bed. I mean, that's a pretty legit fear, but I mean, I just don't think that it happens nearly as often as most people think it does. You might be constantly going through that whole process of you turn it on right before you go to bed, 45 minutes later it shuts off. Probably within a half an hour or so you might get cold, depending on how cold it is outside, and have to wake yourself up and turn it back on. Now granted, I don't think it's the worst thing that could possibly happen, but it could become a minor inconvenience in the long run, just because, I mean, who wants to wake up damn near every hour on the hour just to turn this thing back on? So I think that it's an option, and it does have some drawbacks, but if you're willing to overlook those drawbacks, I think the upgraded materials could be a major benefit. Maybe someone could even mod the controller so that maybe you're able to disable the timer. I don't know how to do that, but if someone else has the technical skill to do that, I would love to see you guys do it, make a video about it, show the rest of us how to do it, because realistically, I think the $5 extra that you would spend for the upgraded materials and the option to go from high, medium, or low, having that extra control over how much energy that we're using with these blankets would be an amazing upgrade for the $5 difference between the cheaper RoadPro 12-volt heated blanket and this Goodyear branded heated blanket. At any rate, guys, thanks so much for watching yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. I'm your host, Puckett, and I'm going to see you guys again on the next one. Peace.